Hey guys, this is Spooky from ArmoredTalk.com, your website dedicated to armored warfare news and information. We are going to go ahead and branch out and do some gameplay videos to see how that goes. And this particular tank is the Patton. This footage is actually from Early Access Round 1 in Armored Warfare. Round 2 of Early Access is starting tomorrow, actually, as I'm recording this, so I will get some additional gameplay footage too. If you didn't get a chance to play the Patton in the first test, or you just haven't played Armored Warfare yet, this is a Tier 3 main battle tank. In Armored Warfare, the main battle tanks move and play somewhat similarly to mediums in World of Tanks, but some of them can be treated almost as heavies. A lot of players don't like the Patton right now because of the big cupola. Presents a pretty large target. I'm finding that even though I was not a heavy tank player in World of Tanks, I enjoyed all classes, but the heavies I just didn't play as much. That I like both main battle tanks at Tier 3. On Port Storm map, I'm not sure how effective it is to come up this ramp. This ends up working out okay for me if I remember correctly, but you're kind of exposed up here. I suppose it's a double-edged sword because you're exposed if they see you, but if you have your teammates lighting them up, that means you have shots as well. And you can kind of hide behind the trailers here too. I just noticed that this was one of the games where people were asking questions about wipes during early access, so pardon me while my tank stopped there. I had to chat back to them. If you don't know, early access, initially rumors had it that there would be wipes between a lot of the stages, but Obsidian and My.com are trying their hardest to make it through the entire early access stage with not having any wipes done to the progress if they can help it. This will be great if they can do it because it'll allow players to get to the higher tiers. As you can see, I'm starting to take shots. This is part of what I mean by you're exposed, not only to tanks along the railroad cars there, but also up on the hill. But it also lets you fight back, and you can back up and use the decline or the hill to your advantage. At this point in time, I think I'm the only one protecting our southern flank along the water here. Armored warfare is even more punishing to tanks that go off by themselves. Teamwork is often more important in this than in World of Tanks. So what I'm doing here is probably not the best, not hanging with my teammates, but at the same time, I feel like if I was up at the D3 area with them, we would be having our entire flank exposed to tanks coming up the 5 line and coming around to our base or flanking us. Fortunately, I'm not having or taking any fire along the 5 line, so I'm able to take some shots as my teammates push forward. I probably could have started being a little bit more aggressive earlier in this game and be down there helping, but once again, I'm not sure what's on the 5 line at this point in time. We are behind by a tank. It seems like most things are lit up. Seems like there is not anything coming down the 5 line, which means if the enemy didn't protect that 5 line, it means that I can do to them what I was trying to protect them doing to us, which is flank. So they go ahead and push south, hopefully get around behind some of these tanks to alleviate the pressure along the front. You'll notice I'm driving zoomed in and also trying to aim at tanks that are obviously behind buildings watching this replay. It's just all part of getting used to the game interface and the mechanics of it. Oh, here we go. We have a nice little target to shoot at. You'll notice the Sixth Sense type spotted indicator there pops up whenever the enemy does spot you, which is nice. I do wish it would stay on the screen the entire time you're spotted, but I suppose there would be the problem of being desensitized to it at that point in time. So this guy's in a little bit of trouble because he has to now engage me, and he has my teammates coming at him from the north as well. So get him kind of in a pincer situation here, and he's not going to have much luck getting out of it. This game actually kind of surprised me because it's very rare that there are not tanks from the enemy base that go along the H or I line over to the 5 line and then up. So I'm rather shocked that I didn't have to fight anybody down there. And I'm sure you've already noticed that I do end up running over things and running into things quite a bit. In World of Tanks, I learned not to worry about the environment too much because you drive over and pass through things. You know, unless you're worried about artillery spotting you from an overhead view, or it's towards the end of the game, you're trying to sneak up on somebody and you don't want to knock any bushes over. Unless it's a situation like that, I'm not really too concerned about it, and I'm just more focused on where am I going, what tank am I going to be shooting, am I going to get shot? So I kind of ignore the environment a little bit, which in Armored Warfare has ended up hurting me more often than not, because there are a lot of things you cannot go through that you can in World of Tanks. If you see semi-trailers in this game, you can't just plow right through them like I'm used to. You probably also noticed back when I was in the city, I wasn't bothering to try to side-scrape my tank. In Armored Warfare, side-scraping does not appear to do anything. I think Silent Stalker, who used to write at the FTR blog and is now a content manager in Armored Warfare, has even said that side-scraping doesn't really do much for you. So there's not really any reason to try to do it. There is some track baiting that you can do. You know, try to turn your tank the last minute. Hopefully shells go in and you get eaten up by your tracks. And you know, there are tanks that are more bouncy than others. The Russian Tier 3 main battle tank does bounce shots. You do need to pause and take aim and try to aim for weak spots. You know, the typical weak spots seem to be working quite well. The cupola, the lower glacis, and I think there might be a gun mantlet bug at the moment that, you know, most gun mantlets can be pinned. Yeah, here I'm just going to go ahead and try to take out this tank, being cautious coming up and down. I have a lot of hit points left to trade, so I'm not being as careful as I probably should have, but to me it felt like this game was going to be going our way. I guess it looks like it's even right now, but we have a lot better position there being stationary. Although this guy ended up being a little bit more difficult to kill than I had imagined. I actually thought he'd keep coming out and make it an easy for me, but no. I have to go try to get him. I think I might have actually switched to HE at some point in time here because he is such low health, and I did bounce or not penetrate a couple shots. Although if I did switch to HE, I doubt it took him out. One of the advantages that the Patton has is it does have pretty good gun depression. I'm facing another one, so I'm not able to abuse that as much as I should. He's just sitting and waiting for me. I'm trying to be aggressive going after him, so he has somewhat the advantage, but I have a lot more health points than he does, and my teammates are also going to be taking shots at him here pretty soon.
Identified. Hostile tank.
You can actually see there's quite a bit of detail in graphics flying around this map. You know, I'm kind of in the middle of a dust storm. There's little flame ashes flying around. Oh, yeah, that was a nice shot. You know, Armored Warfare, the tanks tend to be a little bit more accurate than World of Tanks because they are modern armor, so you can take some more snapshots like that and be successful with it. If you're writing about the RNG or the range that your shells can fall in, it's still, there's a green circle you see, the shell will be guaranteed to land inside there, but the distribution inside of that, in World of Tanks, RNG is about 25%. So far in Armored Warfare, they've been testing out and I think been pretty happy with 10%. So it's quite a bit of a difference there. The game ends up coming down more to player ability than luck in the RNG portion of the game. RNG dictates, you know, your accuracy of your gun, how much damage is done by the shell when it hits, things of that nature. So as this game comes to an end, I just want to thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the gameplay. As the early access stage of Armored Warfare goes along and they finalize on the statistics of the tanks a little bit more, I'll do some more in-depth reviews of what I think of them. It just seemed that at this such an early stage in testing, when they are going to be balancing, buffing or nerfing tanks and their abilities so much, it didn't make sense to cover a lot of details about how to play the tank or what the tank is good at, or even go into the specifics of the tank itself. That stuff will come on later. I just wanted to go ahead and get a couple videos out there in case you are about ready to pick up and go into the second stage of Armored Warfare testing, which begins on Wednesday. This has been Spooky from the website armoredtalk.com, your source of anything Armored Warfare, news and information. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you have any suggestions, comments, thoughts, let me know. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. Find me on Twitch at twitch.com/bspooky, or of course visit the website at armoredtalk.com. Thanks for watching.